All right, hello once again, everyone. Doug here with the LincolnList.com with another trade recap. Again, a solid morning, $2,700 in gains before lunch, and we are seeing some incredible opportunities to both the long side and the short side. They're available. It's out there right now if you know where to look. Don't forget, we still have a 7-day free trial to our live trade room. Come by. It costs you nothing. You can see all of these trades live on screen. It is not a chat. You see everything live in a webinar format. That way you kind of get an understanding of how we find our stocks, what entry prices we look for, how we control risk, how we maintain profits, etc. Really good learning tool. So we're going to start out with a big winner today, which was stamps. I'm going to admit there's a little bit of luck here and timing that went along with some just regular due diligence. Now, the night before we were talking about in our wrap up and going into the morning about how we wanted to buy this stock because it had been down so much. You see it got sold off heavy. It's been a victim of some bad news and some hit pieces. So the thing really literally drops from 90 bucks down to 70, a good $20 here in about 4 to 5 days worth of trading. So I was kind of hoping the morning would open up with a nice flush to get long. Well, that didn't happen. So our plan B was that if it would spike or get vertical or people would start to chase that move and get ahead of themselves, then we would want to short it. So we kind of waited here. It's a little bit different pattern than the just straight open vert pair with a high RSI. But once it starts rolling over here a little bit, the risk to reward was laid up. It's had a tendency to fade. If you look back in some of the charts here over the last few days, it has a tendency to make a little rip, but then lose it. So I was thinking, this thing's probably going to come back here, get down to high a day. And we were up pretty good. We got in this thing in the 76s, watching it just kind of, walk down, just trailing the stop. Once we were on the house, it was just letting the trade do what it wanted. And as just this is just a product of being in the trades. You got to be in it to win it. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes things work against you. In this case, a hit piece came out on it, and this thing just dumped, and we covered. So the trade was working out anyway. It was going to be a decent winner, but this just made it an epic winner. And if you were fast enough, you can flip it, because this is also one of my favorite trades, is the flush and then going long. But I'm old and slow, so I wasn't able to get it, but a lot of the members in the room did. They were able to cover up here and then flip the position. And you can see it's grinding back up. So a lot of panic here. And this is one of the things that we teach traders, is not to panic, because nobody makes money by panicking. There's all these little news pieces, hit pieces, articles, pumps, and all that stuff that goes on in the market. And it's kind of designed to get you off of your game. That's what this whole thing does. It gets you off of your game. It gets you thinking emotionally, and then you make decisions, because there's a lot of people that got stopped out on this red bar, right? They panicked and they got stopped out. And now they're sitting here as this thing's trending back towards 76, where the whole thing started from. And they're like, wow, and that's what happens if you panic. If you don't have the experience and you panic, we've all been there. Look, I've been guilty of panicking too, but just remember that panic never makes anybody any money. You got to remain calm. You got to remain focused. But this was a great trade, and also a product of luck. That hit piece helped us capture, a good $6 gain on this stock. So really big winner. The other one that was pretty good was this Sage, and Sage is kind of the same way. This was a stock that we've got a couple of different plays, normally shorting a lot of parabolics, but we've had a couple of different kind of setups that we've been working here. This was one that just had been selling off heavily since the news. Now, it's been customary, at least in recent memory in this market, that even if the news is bogus, garbage, or doesn't matter, these therapeutics have been running. I mean, that's just been one of those things, and kind of like Juno right now sinking. Juno's kind of the same way as Sage. I'll get to that in a second. But it didn't do that. It actually sold off the first day. You see this thing gaps up from 33 into 49, and the first day it just kind of sells off. I mean, it just really fades the entire day. And when something gaps up that much and fades that long, like, you're usually going to get a fade out of it. But for it to actually just sell the entire day is rare, and then it just follows through. So I was thinking, if this thing starts to take off again in the morning, I want to get short, and then maybe it'll flush out for a good buy. Well, the trade just kind of worked in a couple of different scalps. I did get short at the open, and covered into here. I wasn't able to pick up the buy, and then it just kind of, once I wanted to pick up this little piece, I thought it would just kind of come back and go to green, but that didn't happen. And I missed this, which was okay. And then once it started rolling back over, shorted again. And I was just using a tight stop right here, like 41.70s. It was only like 10, 15 cent risk, and got another fade. I never made it back to the buying point of this stock, you can see once it kind of settled itself in, it's now starting to grind back up. Again, maybe in a smaller version of what you saw there with stamps. So many people, and this is what the topic of this recap is. The market is run on emotions because people are still trading stocks, and most people trade emotionally, and that's what we teach people not to do. You don't have control over this, but you see these red bars, people are getting stopped out, people selling positions, capitulating on positions, and these things will come back. They'll bounce at certain levels, and there comes a time when you do need to capitulate. Of course, you're going to be wrong on a trade and you need to cut your loss, but you got to take a look at some of your support resistance levels. You got to pay attention to some of the areas that you are trading, because there are important levels that people sell. There's a lot of sells, a lot of selling blocks you can see going through on some of these stocks at support levels. If you held it that long, there's no need to cut it until it gets down to the support. But another good trade, we also had this ACIA, which I like this stock. It was pretty good short play here in the morning. But this one has been a little bit more customary, like what we have seen in this market, where you can peel off that early short from the late day run. You get the late day run on Wednesday, continues that into Thursday. That's a good short because you're actually having a distance traveled of 47.30 to 51 nonstop pretty much. So it was good cash to be captured there. But like so many stocks we've seen lately in this bull market, you got to be careful with the early morning shorts. You got to be on your game using that RSI, like this one with the steep RSI, the good vert move, the volume coming in, all that stuff we've taught on these past recaps. That's where you can capture it. If you chase into shorts in this market, most of the time you're going to get murdered. That's what's happening. Like people chase after they see the red, then they get spiked on too. So just like longs chase, shorts chase as well. And this one, as I said, like so many stocks, has now found a new high, ramping up. And as I'm doing this video, I'd have to think if this would go tomorrow in a very similar layout and scenario where this continues to gear up to 54s or 55s, and you begin Friday with a very big gap up or a couple dollar gap up, I would most definitely go short into that with a continuation of this move. You see it's starting to ramp up a little bit here. It's starting to get a little bit extended, but it's late in the session as I'm doing this video, about 40 minutes, so a little too late for me to want to get involved in it. It doesn't mean anything. But I do like this one for some of you watching. Keep it up on your watch list there for tomorrow. So again, another solid day. These recaps are just to kind of show you some of the styles that we trade in the room. For some reason, I guess because the website's called the Lincoln List, some people think I trade penny stocks. I don't trade penny stocks. All these stocks you're seeing are 50 to 60 bucks, and it's all about the process. If you guys have a process, it doesn't matter what you do. Find what you do well, make it work for you, and perfect it. And as you go through your career, you will continue to hone that strategy. You'll make changes to it every so often when the market changes. But for the most part, you only need to do one or two things really, really well in this market to be very successful. So if you're kind of one of those people that you're looking for a place to hang your hat, you're looking for a room that can teach you how to make money in the stock market consistently, no matter what the market does, some place that can take those emotions away from you, so where you don't go to bed at night going, God, I hope the market goes up tomorrow. God, I hope the market goes down tomorrow. Losing sleepless nights, sweating, upset stomachs. If you have that, you won't succeed with that. You've got to get rid of that emotion. That has got to be one of the first things that goes. And trading is 100%. Make no mistake, it's 100% mental, psychological, emotional. You've got to get that stuff under control if you ever expect to get rich in this game. The ones who can do it, they're the ones that make the bank. So you need some help. You find yourself in certain situations like that. You find yourself in moments of doubt. Take a minute. Visit thelincolnlist.com. As I said, 7-day free trial. As always, though, thanks for watching this video. Hope I was able to shed some light on some of our strategies and the way we do things. As always, take care of yourself. Talk to you soon.